Tonight, a new recording of Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito slamming investigations that uncovered ethics scandals at the highest court in the country. It's the latest in a series of recordings released by progressive filmmaker who secretly recorded Alito while posing as a religious conservative. The next clip was recorded by her colleague, Ali Samarco. Take a listen to this.
I'm so sorry, first of all, about all the attacks on you by the media. I just think they're piling on you. It's undeserved. So, and I just wanted to ask you, why do you think the Supreme Court is being so attacked and being so targeted by the media these days?
Well, I think it's a simple reason. They don't like our decisions, and they don't like how they anticipate we may decide some cases that are coming up. That's the beginning and the end of it. And there are groups that are very well funded by ideological groups that have spearheaded these attacks. That's what it is.
Like who? Sorry.
Oh, ProPublica gets a lot of money, and they have spent a fortune investigating crimes on the Supreme Court. Everything that he's ever done in his entire life. And they've done some of that to me too.
Now, CNN has not obtained the full video, but we've reached out to the Supreme Court and ProPublica for comment. We have not heard back from the Supreme Court, but ProPublica saying in a statement tonight, ProPublica exposes abuses of power no matter which party is in charge, and our newsroom operates with fierce independence. The fact that Clarence Thomas amended his past filings to formally disclose trips that were paid for by billionaire Harlan Crow speaks for itself. And joining me now, the executive producer of The Undercurrent, Lauren Windsor. She is the person behind those secret recordings. Lauren, great to see you again. We talked to you earlier this morning. Thanks for coming back on. Walk us through this. I guess, first of all, why did you want to get these justices on tape? And was it tough when you walked up to them? Were they more reserved at first? Did you have to warm them up? How did it work?
Well, so I went to two different dinners. There was one in 2023, one in 2024. At the first one, I spoke with Justice Alito only. There were several justices there. But we had a good conversation. I had gone initially because of ProPublica's reporting on Clarence Thomas. So I thought at the time, will he be there? Will he not? Who knows? But the reporting is it's like one of his favorite dinners. So I thought there was a good chance. He was not there. Harlan Crow was not there, to my knowledge. But Justice Alito was. And so I had a conversation with him about how do we repair this partisan rift in our country? Or I didn't say partisan, rather, sorry. How do we repair the polarization in this country? And at the time, he responded in a really unnewsworthy way. It was, I don't know, that's not really our role. So he didn't publish that audio. But then, this was before he actually went under the glare of ProPublica's fantastic reporting.
Right.
And so I imagined that because of that, he might be more aggrieved, and I might have a second shot at that this year. And sure enough, when I asked him similar questions, he had a much different response. Let's
talk about tactics and the way you went about doing this. When I was talking to you earlier this morning, you said, spare me the pearl clutching. But what about the folks at home who might be saying, oh, you know what, she shouldn't have misrepresented who she was. She should just go in there and say, hey, I'm doing this investigation. Talk to me. Well, if I were to walk up to someone and say, hi, I'm a journalist, would you, please tell me that you have a lack of impartiality? That's not something you're really going to be candid about. And it really goes to the genesis. I've done undercover reporting for a long time, back to a huge scoop that I had in 2014 with the Koch brothers. It's reserved for events or situations where you're not going to get information really any other way. And in this particular circumstance, they're not forthcoming. They're already evading any accountability measures whatsoever. And so is it worse for me to pretend to be a fangirl, or is it worse for them to not disclose millions of dollars worth of gifts from GOP donors? I mean, let's talk about relative ethics violations here. I think that what I'm doing is in service of knowledge for the public good, the greater good for all of us.
Congress needs to take action. I shouldn't have to do this. This should be Congress and this should be the media holding these justices to account to say, you're public servants.
Yeah. Is part of the problem the Supreme Court is unaccountable? I mean,
Of course, yeah, it is unaccountable. They can't get ethics reform passed. Why aren't we having congressional hearings into this? I think any reasonable person would say that, Clarence Thomas getting his mother's house paid for, or his, nephew's tuition paid for, or an RV loan, much of which was forgiven. All of these things, any reasonable person would say they're extraordinary.
All right, Lauren Windsor, thanks a lot. You got us all talking here in D.C., that's for sure.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks for your time, appreciate it.